Hello and welcome to Transfermarkt TV. My name is Stefan Bienkowski and I'm joined by my UK colleagues Euan Robertson and Ben Littlemore. And today we're talking about Manchester United. Good news, they picked up an impressive 3-0 win over West Ham, but bad news is that Martinez, the influential central defender, is out injured. Euan, you wrote a great piece on this in terms of Martinez's importance to Man United. Now we should say the injury that he did pick up isn't as bad as feared, but he's still expected to miss out until towards the end of March, if I'm not mistaken. Why don't you talk our listeners and our viewers through why Martinez has been so important over the last 3 or 4 games and why he's such a big blow to be losing him at this stage of the season?
Yeah, ultimately I think Lisandro Martínez is Manchester United's most important player because he holds the team together. That left centre-back role, nobody else can perform it to his level. He brings so much to the team, both in and out of possession, and his absence is a massive blow. Obviously, he's missed the majority of the season already due to a foot injury. They tried to bring him back in the summer. They rushed him back, didn't solve the problem. He aggravated the injury, he had to go for surgery again. It's no coincidence that Manchester United are on this five-match unbeaten run, their longest unbeaten run of the season. When the likes of Martinez, Casemiro and Luke Shaw came back. But ultimately, I think one of the biggest issues for Manchester United and what has been a very disappointing season has been Erik Ten Hag's inability to pick a consistent back four due to injuries. He's named 21 different back four combinations across 33 games this season, which is absolutely insane statistic. If you ask most managers around the world what's the most important thing when building a team, it's consistency of selection, in defence, and building relationships. And if you look at Manchester United's successful sides, over the years under Ferguson, they had Vidic and Ferdinand pretty much played every game, but they've had to play all these different back fours, and Martinez is their best defender by a considerable distance, and his absence will be a big blow in terms of the aspirations this season to get a Champions League place.
Yeah, Ben, a lot has been written, talks, complained about Man United this season in terms of what's happening up front. It's well categorised as to, how their lack of goals, the issue with Marcus Rashford, Antony. Højlund is now scoring goals, but obviously he had quite a slow stuttering start at Old Trafford. But, if you actually compare Man United to these other, or not the other contenders, the contenders, because I don't think it's unfair to say Man United aren't quite amongst them just yet. The other big difference, of course, is that these 3 teams, if we say Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, all have very strong defences. Whereas, as Euan's just pointed out there, Ten Hag's never really been able to put together those strong defensive foundations to build a squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. I think if you told me at the start of last summer that Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans would be starting games together as centre-back for Man United, I wouldn't have believed you. And I think it has been a problem. I mean, you look at the game against Wolves last week, they conceded 3 goals and they never really looked like managing the game. Like, we've seen Arsenal under Arteta, Man City under Pep, even Liverpool under Klopp. They have the ability to close out a game, to slow the tempo down, and they'll manage it. Against Wolves, it was still, the tempo was so high, it was end-to-end when Man United were in control, and they were very lucky to not throw away 3 points there. Their youngster, Kobbie Mainoo, got them out of trouble. But I think, it's a huge problem, not as Euan mentioned, not having consistency across your back line is being such an important factor for Arsenal this season, as we've mentioned with Gabriel and Saliba. But it's a huge issue for Ten Hag, and Martinez is going to be a huge miss going forward. It's going to be interesting to see how they cope without him.
Yeah, Euan, they've got obviously a huge amount of games coming up, as is always expected of Man United in the Premier League. They got Aston Villa next, Luton, Fulham, then Manchester City, an Everton team who've been very difficult to beat this season. With Martinez out for just about all those games, how does Ten Hag then try and compensate for his departure? Because they do have players, but I guess the issue is that not all of them slot into the kind of roles or positions that you'd want of them.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating because, as you mentioned, the majority, all the centre-backs are now fit. That's not been the case. Also, apart from Martinez, Lindelof came back at the weekend. Harry Maguire's back fit now as well. Johnny Evans is fit. Raphael Varane's fit. The problem that Ten Hag has, and this raised huge eyebrows early in the season, is when he played Johnny Evans over Raphael Varane, because you know to the outside eye that seems incomprehensible. Champions League winner, 5 times, World Cup winner, and Johnny Evans is playing over him. But the reason for that, and Ten Hag has explained it, and it does mention this in the article, is that he doesn't think that Varane or Maguire, despite the fact that Maguire plays left centre back for England, are comfortable on the left hand side. It's all about passing angles and building the ball up in the back, and that's also why Martinez is so important. I think ideally that Ten Hag would move Luke Shaw into left centre back and then play either Varane or Maguire, probably Varane, on the right hand side. The problem with that at the moment is who would you play left back, because Tyrone Malacia has been out all season with injury, so he can't come in. Another option would be moving Diego Dallo, who's had a good season, over to left back. A role he can perform pretty well. But the problem at the moment is that Aaron Wan-Bissaka's missed the last 3 games of injury as well. So you go into Villa Park the weekend, massive game for the top 4 race. And I'm not sure what he'll do. I reckon that he'll probably go with Harry Maguire at left centre back or Victor Lindelof. And you'll try to keep Luke Shaw at left back because there's no alternatives in full back, and also because Luke Shaw has a really good relationship with Marcus Rashford. You've seen Rashford come into form recently. A big part of that is Luke Shaw and the overlapping runs and underlapping runs that it does give Rashford more space.
Yeah, never a dull moment at Old Trafford. But, as you said at the top of the show, 5 games unbeaten now for Erik Ten Hag's Man United team in all competitions. Go into this really tough match against Aston Villa at the weekend. You can, of course, follow that game with our live chat, actually, and all the stats on the Transfermarkt website. You can find Euan's analysis on our UK, US, and .com pages. And for everything else, you can head to Transfermarkt for all your stats as well. But until then, make sure you subscribe to this page, like this video. Let us know what you guys think. Is Maguire the right guy at left back or left centre back? Should Luke Shaw be pulled in? Why is it Raphael Varane starting? Let us know in the comments below. And until next time, we'll speak to you soon.